Last year, I read an anthology of zombie short stories, and one story in particular stood out. In this story, because of some cataclysmic event, people all over the world were turned into zombies. Not everyone, of course, because where would the drama be in that? Just some. For entirely logical zombie story reasons, a baby is turned into a raving flesh eater, and its mother is faced with the task of feeding zombie baby. Of course, baby won't eat frozen flesh, only the freshest of meat for this baby. Mom begins by capturing unsuspecting people and feeding them to her child in chunks. As her supply dwindles, Mom is faced with a dilemma: how to feed this mewling, ravenous beastie in the other room. The story closes with her tying a tourniquet around her lower leg and lopping off her big toe. Must feed my baby, she thinks, as the shears snap closed. And isn't that just like motherhood? We have this enormous, life-changing event thrust upon us. After suffering through labor or adoption process, we're left alone with a tiny, crying, hungry being. A being whose sole survival depends on our ability to care for and to nurture it. All too often, we put others on the Feed My Baby altar. The husbands who are pushed away because I can't take care of everyone. And please don't touch me. If one more person touches me today, I will lose it. The friends who drift farther and farther from our little bubble of baby, 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 baby. Eventually, we find that the only thing we can truly and unreservedly offer our children is ourselves. But here's the thing: we must be alive to feed our children. We must be flesh and blood, hearts pumping, minds engaged. A soul-dead frozen mother offers very little in the way of sustenance to our wee beasties. They don't want a pale, freezer-burned imitation of us. They want us. To be the mother my children need, I must be alive. To keep them alive, I must feed them the living, pulsing bits of myself. The best parts, but not so much that I have nothing left to give. So therefore, yes, I must read zombie stories and graphic novels and science fiction and horror stories. I will nurture a love of reading in my children, even if they like different genres than I do. I must play with flowers. I may have to work long hours for Valentine's Day or give up weekends to weddings, but I will gladly give my kids a love of wiring and taping corsages, making centerpieces for festive occasions, and just because it's a happy day, I must do flowers. I must garden. They will learn how to dig in the dirt and wait for things to grow. I must pray and pray and pray and pray. The boys have been busting out some really eloquent, heartfelt prayers lately. If they knew how to read, I would wonder if they'd been memorizing the Psalms, but I have a sneaking suspicion that they've just learned to love to pray. To keep my babies alive, I must do what keeps me alive. Your list will be different from mine, I'm sure, but what makes you alive? What allows you to feed your babies? And what bits of tender flesh can you offer them? So make that list and do those things and be alive. Thank you.